Hello everybody, I'm up to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. Yes, you're very, very familiar with the scoreline, 3-3 against Arsenal. We were 3-0 up after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and I couldn't quite believe my luck. West Ham played brilliantly for the first 20 minutes, probably the best I've seen us all season in terms of being clinical. And Arsenal got back into it, mate. I don't really know where to start with games like this because they're so mad and crazy, and I think a lot of people are coming out with who's to blame. I think there's a lot of things we can discuss.
Yeah.
Where do you think the blame lies, if it lies at all? Is it a collective? Is it individuals? What do you think?
It's not individually. It's not, it's not the reactionary comments saying Antonio, missing a sitter decided the game because he's not at fault for all of their goals, is he? It's not an individual. It's more, for me, collectively inviting Arsenal to come forward. Obviously, with the players they've got, like Odegaard, Saka, I think they just changed gear, didn't they? As soon as we scored that third goal, first 35 minutes, I thought we were fantastic, probably the best we played all season. Really started positively.
Yeah.
But as you know, you can't, even on a 3-0 lead, mate, you cannot sit back and just think and switch off and think, oh, the game's won here, we've won the game. It's not. We were very unlucky today, I thought, as well, with the 2 own goals, obviously, which we'll talk through. But it's not individually, mate. It's more collectively and maybe using the subs at the wrong times, etc. So
I agree. Like, there's a mix, and I know people will talk about refereeing decisions, and listen, I'm sure we'll get into it. But if we're going to try and give this a bit of a balanced scope, we played, like we touched on, really good for the first 20. Like, honestly, I thought if you're going to play against Arsenal, you're going to press them high, you're going to be positive. I thought we showed that.
Yeah.
I thought Mickey, or the way that Mickey set up in terms of comments out left-hand side, targeting Chambers a little bit, and West Ham pushing forward our attacking midfielders, made a massive impact on Arsenal. Winning the ball in high areas was a real positive. Jesse's goal is fantastic. Technically,
it's a killer, isn't it?
It's brilliant. Hits it with a kind of comes up on the right and gives it a bit of time and smacks it. And listen, he got the space to dispatch. But I thought Jesse in those first 20 minutes was sublime at times.
Lovely,
really positive.
Yeah, no, he was. That's his game, isn't it? Getting the ball, picking it up and driving forward. He loves doing that, and he was our focal point, to be fair, sometimes. And like you touched on, that goal, the technique, mate, to get it out of his feet, and then obviously he could have skied it, but to keep it down, place it like that, it's a class goal, and that's why he's warranted his England call up. And obviously, he did. Obviously, when we were pegged back a bit, he wasn't as like. But even that, he looked to get forward. He looked to drive us forward, and him coming back today showed how much we missed him last weekend. Just that, just that driving force to get on the ball, carry it effectively as well. And obviously he got that assist too, so he was superb, I thought.
Bit of quality as well, wasn't it? And then you touched on it in terms of, I'm sure we'll get on to Ben Rama, but player bringing the ball forward and carrying it, like that's what Jesse offers. I remember a time where Xhaka's got to go and press him, and he's not known for his pressing Xhaka, or at least being successful in it. And Lingard's just turned him, drove West Ham further up the pitch. And I think in games like this, and I do think this is a point to remember, and particularly when Arsenal started to get back into it and we sort of relinquished a lot of possession, which I hate us doing, because we've got to be really defensively solid, proper low block stuff, getting the wide attacking midfielders to sit back, which I didn't think we did effectively enough. And obviously that come for the first goal. Ball retention, we talk about it every single week. And West Ham, when Arsenal started to put the pressure on us, we started to give up the ball a lot, and it didn't give us enough time to get composed and get set. And I don't know what it is. We are a good team, but I just felt like we were panicking. We really panicked when at first 10, 20 minutes, mate, on the ball, composed, tidy, neat, exactly what we needed to do.
Yeah, no, it is weird, isn't it? I think we almost turned it down a bit, didn't we? We were tense, looking to capitalise on obviously the Europa League. They might be a bit fatigued, this and that, and we played it around with impetus. We were good, and then all of a sudden, once we get that third goal, we switch off, don't we, really? Yeah. The tempo's not as big. We're looking to just kill the game off and calm the tempo down. But then Arsenal think, hold on here, they're switching off. Let's get a goal back and capitalise. And they've done that, albeit a bit of luck, but they've still done it. And then that gives them massive confidence going into the end of the first half, going into the start of the second half to get back into the game. And albeit with massive luck and fortune, they've still clawed it out and got the result in the end, which we thought was never possible. But we should have looked to have kick on even more. That's not an opportunity to settle down, because you can never do that in a Premier League game, can you?
Yeah, it did feel like that, and obviously how quick the first and the second goals were for West Ham, and it felt a bit like a Trent Alexander-Arnold moment, wasn't it, when everyone switched off for Arsenal and Lingard was well onto it.
Yeah.
And Bowen, to his credit, I've been critical of him. Decent finish. Then I probably could have done better. But again, West Ham, I think, other than maybe Souček had a header, we were clinical for the first time. But I think we've been in quite a few weeks, and we've always created chances, but we've never been like, right, one chance goal, one chance. And I felt like it was all a bit of a purple patch, wasn't there? Let's be honest, first 20, 25 minutes where everything we were doing was working and it was clicking. And you're 2-0 up against Arsenal, and you're thinking, and I was a bit like, how do the players react now? Because I don't think they were expecting to be in this situation.
No, not at all. I do wonder, mate, what the XG was for both of them 2 goals, because the way Lingard took his first, and then the second, obviously, his awareness, but Arsenal didn't expect it, and Bowen, slid it under the keeper well. Leno should have done better, like you said. Obviously, they come out of nothing, really, don't they? They come out of, very little, they're not exactly build-up play. The first goal was build-up play.
But do you know where it came from, though, mate? It came from pressing high and doing exactly what we needed to do and picking the ball up. And, I think, when we play that 4-2-3-1, it gives us the ability to do that. And you've got to kind of give credit to West Ham, I guess, for forcing the issue. As much as we knew that Arsenal could panic a little bit, we didn't allow Arsenal to play out from the back, which is, again, spot on.
What they do, innit? Yeah, it's what they do.
It's exactly what West Ham should have done. So it's the bit after, right? It's the bit when we're 2-0 up and we relinquish a lot of possession. A lot. Like, to the point where we're not getting forward as much, we're not breaking in numbers, and when we are getting the ball forward, we're losing it, and we're not keeping it long enough. Mate, what is this? What is it about? Like, what do you think it was about? I know Arsenal played a bit more central. Lacazette was coming in a bit of a 10 role, and it caused us no end of problems. But do you think the players just switched off, or was it a formation thing? I don't know where to pin it, to be fair.
I think it's the coach instilling that once you get that lead, you need to be more cautious, be more protective naturally. Because if you're playing like a Sunday League game, you're 2-0 up, you're going to defend a bit more, aren't you? And look to maybe, counter against the other team. And we look to implement that, but against I don't know what to say on it, mate, because you can get away with doing that against the likes of Burnley because they don't have a lot of attacking quality to break you down to an extent, obviously compared to Arsenal. But once you do that, and once you give possession to them and don't press them as much as we did effectively in the first half an hour or so, it becomes a different game because it gives them the impetus. They can then feel relaxed on the ball. They can move it. They can use their transitional play, get Odegaard on the ball to do their things. And they did it. They did it. All of the second half as well, they did it. And once you do that and the quality they've got, and once them quality players get even more confidence on the ball, you've got a problem. And we couldn't contain that.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. I think as well, something clicked with Arsenal where they stopped playing. They gave up a lot of possession, didn't they? Really, let's be honest. First 20 minutes, I know West Ham pressed well, but we were very, very comfortable. And they were looking for that counter. And the minute they had to go for it and hurt West Ham and get on the front foot, almost we were caught between two minds. Do we keep doing what we're doing as a plan, or do we just settle down, absorb a little bit of pressure? And I know we got that Antonio goal after, so it seems a little bit harsh for me saying this, but the dynamic of the game changed. We were no longer in control, and I'm sure we'll touch on it. How Arsenal played so easily through the lines, so easily.
Yeah, so easily. Yeah.
As a back four with two defensive midfielders, and Bowen coming very central at times, they should not be allowed to do that. Arsenal should be not allowed to dictate the way they dictated, particularly at parts in that first half.
Yeah, no, it was Odegaard, wasn't it? Once he got the ball, and Partey as well, springing it through the gaps. Odegaard's a brilliant player. Thought he was outstanding today, and obviously once he gets on the ball and gets more confidence on the ball, he's gonna create things, and he did. I think as well, mate. What it was when as soon as they went 2-0 down, Arteta almost changed their possession going forward, their dynamic of the possession. So they pushed Tierney and Thingy up more, didn't they? Almost hugged the touchline so that Odegaard could have more space and they could use the width to a more of an extent kind of thing. And it worked for them. Chambers put in some really good balls. Saka was rotating. Oba came more centrally. And it just got them players more involved a bit more. And it worked for him,
Yeah, they worked that overload in those central areas really well. At times, it felt like, Lacazette would come a bit deeper. West Ham, either Diop or Dawson trying to be aggressive more so Diop trying to win that ball, and then the minute you don't win that ball, Arsenal had runners in behind, and we become vulnerable. And we're not normally like that, I think so. I think it feels like we were sort of caught between the two. Do we keep doing what we're doing, trying to press Arsenal a bit, or do we sit? And I think if West Ham had sat a little bit, been a bit more comfortable, then we could have restricted Arsenal and just sort of said, right, let's just ride the wave. Let's restrict how effective they are in possession. But it shocked me how easy it was for them to break through our defensive lines. I've not seen that. I didn't expect that from Arsenal at all, to be honest.
No, I think that was, again, in it, it's kind of what, they attacked differently. They approached the game differently for me when, they did look to break through the lines quicker rather than getting it out wide, being a bit laboured on the ball and not really affecting the game. Do you know what I mean? That's how they approached it to start with. But once they went 2-0 down, they thought, right, we're going to have to be more, I don't know what, more imposing on West Ham. And they did that. They took more risks and naturally it came off. And they have the players to do that. They have the players to carry it out, like we do to an extent as well with Benrahma, Lingard, Fornals. It was a massive miss today, I thought. Huge miss.
God, mate. We should have, if we'd had him in, I think we might have ridden the wave. Because we missed him, like his defensive stuff. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Don't get me wrong. I thought we never defended those. We didn't protect our fullbacks enough, like we normally do. I just don't feel that we did. Cresswell, for me, was getting pulled apart left, right, and centre, and I find it difficult to blame him because I feel like normally he has that player on that left, and Benrahma, even for the first goal, has to get out to Chambers for the cross. And there was no one there. And if Fornals is playing, he's doing that work. That's what we missed. And obviously the goal happens. But it was just the approach play. Like I felt like a lot of the goals you can talk about own goals and, flicks on maybe possibly West Ham out of shape. But Arsenal being able to play the way they wanted to play in our own third, for me, is what did us.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Giving them time on the ball and, the impetus to do stuff. And obviously, like you touched on there, Benrahma should get out quicker to that cross and prevent it from going in. Maybe Moyes instructed him to just stand off him a bit, don't go close in case he beats you on a one-on-one. But Chambers excels at putting crosses in. He put some worldy ball-ins today. But we should have rectified that and thought, right, we'll get closer to him then because we can't give him time to put a cross in because he's very good at it. Obviously, you saw in the second half as well when Fab came to get his cross that was in the corridor of uncertainty, wasn't it? But it was more, Fornals is a big miss today in terms of getting back, being more effective because Benrahma is obviously a player who prefers being in the final third, doesn't he, mate? And today he didn't have a massive impact on the game. He was good in flashes, but that's the consistency thing again for me. But it was more giving them time to do their stuff and strut their stuff, and they did it. So it's massively frustrating, hugely frustrating.
Yeah, it's annoying, and it's not really something like you touched on. Maybe possibly instructing Benrahma, or I thought even Bowen, Tierney got a lot of joy down that left as well. So it wasn't like and I think Arsenal played a way that West Ham didn't expect them to play on the front foot, pick up, and they didn't, to be fair, for 20 minutes. So the Xhaka was playing high, Partey was playing high, and all of a sudden Bowen's coming in to try and help Declan and Souček, and then he's been dragged out. And I just felt like if we could get to half time, and I know we scored, which is ironic. I mean, it was 3-1 when we went in, that we could just settle it down. Because even when we went 3-1 up, mate, I didn't feel like we were in control. It's a decent goal. No. It's a decent goal from Antonio. It's a fantastic cross from Soufal. It's there to be expected, but we didn't. As good as we were going forward, I felt like in those 20 minutes we controlled. Everything was controlled. It was calm. We knew what we were doing. It was good interplay between players, and then we panicked. I mean, we just fell apart. It's the only way I can put it.
Yeah. It's unusual for Moyes team, isn't it, to fall apart like that. We just completely crumbled, mate. As soon as they got that goal, end of the first half, their tails were up. Obviously, that goal goes in, and for me though, that was a big. If Moyes makes a change at half time and hauls one of Benrahma or Bowen off and brings on an extra defender, we win the game. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but if you don't make that change, it gives Arsenal the tails up, allows them to express themselves like they did at the end of the first half, get a goal back, and it's squeaky bum time, and it was all of the second half.
I think it's as simple as, or not as simple, but all of Arsenal's play come down the right. all of Arsenal's play come down the right. So that when he brought Fredericks on, I thought, you're not really addressing the problem though. I get the wing backs and the back five, no problem. I think, and even I was saying 60 minutes, Arsenal was still in ascendancy. I thought we're going to have to do something here because whatever we're doing now isn't working. Bring on Johnson, shore it up, give Creswell a bit of protection. And he didn't do it. And I thought that was a bit odd because I thought surely you'd be reactive enough to say, right, this isn't working as it is. Whatever Arsenal are doing is working. Let's just try and nullify this a bit. And I think if we'd done that, we could have sort of stopped Arsenal's play. Yeah, we would have given up a lot of the ball, but I think we would have been more comfortable. And it just felt like we were always on the ropes from even in the beginning of the second half because Arsenal could dictate how they wanted to play to us. And we're not used to seeing that from West Ham.
Yeah, no, Moyes should have looked at it because a comment there says all 3 of their goals came down the left-hand side, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's true. When Moyes can see that, clearer than any of us. So he's got to rectify that. Look at it and think, right, we'll bring Johnson on or Fredericks or whoever else was on the bench to nullify that, like you said, because that was where they were getting their joy. Obviously with Saka as well and him making the inverted runs, it was very difficult to contain. Once they had the confidence and just hugely frustrating the way we just crumbled to an extent. Let them back in the game very cheaply as well with their own goals. It's not like they had to work for their goals, is it? The only quality they produced, mainly was Chambers' cross to Lacazette, who was unmarked at the back post.
But all of them are a bit frustrating. Like I think people can't really fault the defenders. Like you look at the first goal. Like I thought Lacazette had hit that clean, and then you see it on replay, and you're like,
it's going wide, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is what it is, right? You have sort of goals like that. The Dawson one, again, he has to protect it, and I guess the momentum's taking it in the net, but. I just felt like if we'd addressed it, we could have finished the game 3-2. Honestly, I think if we'd addressed that side, because Pepe come on and Martinelli come on, and particularly when Pepe come on, I thought, hang on a minute, like getting him down that right where he's got all the freedom of the world to go and put a cross in.
He had a few chances as well, didn't he?
Pepe? Yeah, chances, and it was kind of caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. We brought Nobes on.
Yep.
And in principle, I don't mind it because I thought
that was the right call. Yeah, I don't think that was a bad sort. No,
pack the midfield and try and deal with those central areas because we didn't do enough. We weren't even going to win the ball, so I got it. And then the fact that Arsenal still had the ball and they still played it in the wide areas and they still created showed you that hang on, we're not quite dealing with the problem as such. And I don't know, like it's hard, isn't it? Because it's almost like Moyes wanted to be positive. He wanted to go forward and sort of get the goals. But the reality is, you've got to shut up shop at a time like that. Yes, I'll see you, Luke. Don't worry.
Gonna put it up.
Yeah, no, it's funny. But like, it's an odd one, isn't it? Normally I'd say like, he's gone too soon being defensive, but then possibly he went a bit too late, and I think that probably cost us. Is that fair? Would you say that's fair, mate, in the end?
What, changing it too late?
Do you think not changing it or not dealing with that side where Arsenal got a lot of success was a downfall in the game?
Yeah, if that's me, change it at half time.
Yeah,
that's what I'd do because you see at the end of the first half how much joy and freedom they were getting, and they were looking to exploit that. And obviously Cresswell, with 2 runners either side and Ben Rama not having the highest of defensive work rates, they were clever and intelligent with that, and they exploited that weakness. And Ben Rama does get back, but he's not defensively aware, is he? Because he's not a defender. He's not aware of what's around him and how to anticipate balls there. So they use that to their advantage, obviously.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would have said. The Ben Rama. So Ben Rama is normally the hill that I die on in terms of protecting him. As a player. So it's tough for me, man. Because at the end of the second half, end of the first half, someone said bring him off. I said he's pressing all right. He's winning it. And even in the second half, he did have a chance. Put it in for Mickey. So it's a tough one where he still creates, but. Again, like I just felt like it would have seemed harsh on Ben Rama, but just protecting Creswell a little bit. Because normally we sit here and go, well, Cres didn't get out to get him enough, or Cres's positioning's off. But to be honest, like it was so little that he could have done. And when you play that 4-2-3-1, the way we play it, you need your wide attacking players to go and help. Do you know what I mean? I know Bowen can do it.
Yeah, you do.
Benny, that's not his game, and that's why I put Fornals in the predicted 11, because I thought if he's fit, has to play in this game.
Yeah, that's what Fornals does more effectively, isn't it? He's almost behind Cresswell when we're on the back foot, and it works, doesn't it? I don't know. He's just better defensively, and that helps us. And obviously, that was a huge miss today. On Ben Rama, I don't know if he's. I don't know if is he naturally. He's more of a attacking mid, isn't he? I don't know if I'd rather try him there, but then you have to move Lingard about, and Lingard's been so effective. But in terms of that 4-2-3-1, it's just I don't think Benny has the work rate, but I'm not sure he's. Do you know what I mean? I'm not.
We're in a situation now where we've got Lingard in, and I think before Lingard come in, you'd be saying Benny's got to play 10, right? Less defensive responsibility, carries the ball. Lingard's better at it over longer distance. I'm sure the stats will back it up, right? So at the end of the day, I think Ben Rama, you chance him in a wing back system as one of the left hand side of the front three, because you've got to give up those defensive duties. I think he works hard. And again, it's a very niche thing, isn't it? Asking an attacking midfielder to suddenly protect your left side, your left back doesn't normally work. That's not how other teams play. But at the end of the day, I thought Moyes would have identified that. Listen, it's not working for Benny. Either flipping him, playing the 10, or Lingard at left hand side, or take him off and go wing backs and put Johnson on. That's the only thing I would have said. That's why I was a little bit shocked when Fredericks come on, because I thought I'd get the back five, but left hand side was where the issues were for me today, and he did lose the ball actually a fair bit in that second half. I think a lot of players were guilty for that, and I think that's the thing going forward. West Ham, when there's no pressure on us, we're all right, we're relaxed, and then the minute there's something shaky, we're lumping balls up, we're misplacing passes, we're not keeping it. West Ham have just got to be able to keep the ball, and I don't know whether it's something to look at in the summer, getting a player that can just keep the ball long enough, because that's the difference.
We was good under pressure, yeah, because we panic under pressure, don't we?
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Because Mickey was very, very good at the first half of winning the second ball, pushing West Ham far up. But I felt that in the second half, he was winning it and then losing it a bit. And I was like, just keep hold of it. Just keep it in the corner, or keep it to West Ham can press a little bit higher. Because I didn't feel Arsenal could hurt us in transition that much, if I'm honest. And they didn't really. They only hurt us when they had a lot of the ball.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, they. It was mainly when Odegaard got the ball. There's a comment there saying he turned into Prime Zidane as well. Yeah. I don't know in hindsight, reflecting back, if that's something we should have nullified sooner as well, because he was so... he just impacted the game so much, and he was the, talisman really, wasn't he, in terms of creating stuff and, getting the ball in deep areas and instigating things and... We could have dropped Lingard or Mickey maybe deeper just to put him on Odegaard. Yeah, even put Rice on him. And just say, push up further. Don't let him have time on the ball, and then drop Lingard deeper. Yeah, with Souček just in front of him. Maybe I think that's but in hindsight, it's easy to say, innit? It's easy to say, but he was influential on the game today, I thought.
I do agree with that. I just think holding the ball for long enough, and I think we're one of them teams where, if it's a counter and we can play on a bit of chaos and a bit of disorganisation, West Ham might be the best at it, because Lingard and Fornals or Bowen will all press and win the loose balls, and it's great. It's great to watch. But when we're managing a game, West Ham aren't in a position normally. West Ham aren't in a position normally where we're up in a game by that degree. And we've just got to go, look, take the sting off it. Just take it off a little bit. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but against Leeds, Leeds got back into... They didn't get back into the game via goals, but they were knocking on the door. And we never took the sting. It was almost like we got a bit lucky, decent defending. And just that quality on the ball that I think we need to address a little bit. And Bowen lost the ball a couple of times today as well, mate. Do you know what I mean?
He did, yeah.
Your attacking players can't do that.
No, it's. I'm sure that's something he'll look to address. It's just in terms of being an attacker or any midfielder in general, just being able to relieve the ball under pressure, like you said, and being confident and almost having that flair and ability to get away from them, or being strong in possession. And we've seen that in Rice, to be fair. That that run towards the end of the game where he had a shot and nearly won it for us. That's what he can do. But for me, I've seen it my whole lifetime where I remember to go into games and teams put us under pressure and we can't make a 5-yard pass. It was almost a bit like that again, wasn't it?
That's why it's mad, mate, isn't it? Because
it's just the basics, though, isn't it?
Those first 10 minutes, though, you see how wide Diop and Dawson were, and Declan was sitting, and we were trying to stretch Arsenal. And I was like, didn't expect West Ham to be, I say brave, but expansive, right? And then all of a sudden you're under a bit of pressure, panic, absolute panic, trying to clear the ball, giving it back to David Luiz, giving it back to Odegaard. It's we can
just do the simple things then. Go back to the keeper.
Well, you can be as good as you want defensively, right? Which I don't think we were great at times. But you can't keep that up for 90. You can't. If a team's got that much of the ball and they put in that much of the ball in the box, you can't do it for 90 minutes. You've got to be able to do better than just lumping it and clearing it. It felt like at the end we were 3-1 up at the end of the first half. It felt like it was 90 minutes of FA Cup final. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, you're right. Something we need to address clearly, and that Bonner as well. We miss him. That Bonner comment, sorry, is so true. Diop's obviously very good, mate, but I don't know. Is the last goal his fault? I'm not sure. I'm not trying to nitpick, but it's on his side, isn't it?
And he has done that before. He has come over and he's not...
Yeah, but to be fair, Diop's done well the last few games. I'm just not sure if we want to get to that Europa League stage and next season as well. I don't think he's good enough to deal with attackers like Lacazette and Aubameyang, and obviously you need saying that you'd need a world-class defender to deal with them two. But I just think we miss on Bonner's leadership and his clearances and all that, and getting us out of the mud. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he would have done that today better than the likes of Diop and Dawson did. But Dawson's obviously been terrific. So
yeah, he would have read it better. That's the point.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Bonner is a experienced, very good defender, and I think Lacazette is very good at shielding the ball. Like, if you've got to give him some credit, right? He's dropping deeper. He knows he's got Diop, and Arsenal like playing behind. When you've got players on the shoulder, we're going to tear West Ham apart. And for me, Diop either had to go and work with Declan and say, look, I'm going to sit. We're going to play a narrow back four, and you're going to have to go and deal with him. But I can't keep going and trying to win it and miss and not getting the ball, because like that, you're losing it, and you're giving Arsenal more and more chances to get back into the game. I'm just going to whack the light on.
Yeah, no, you're right in terms of just a Bonner being able to, just read the game, just anticipate it more, because Laka is so good at holding the ball up, and that's why he drops deep, and Oba comes more central in behind him almost. That's what I noticed in the second half, and that's why they were effective. Yeah. And then Tierney can bomb further forward. Likewise, Chambers on the other side. And it was effective for them.
What do you think of this, mate?
I don't agree. Yes, yeah, he's got talent, but I don't agree with chucking a youngster on with limited experience. He's going to help us in a game like this. I can't see it. He's got a lot of ability, mate. Yeah, he scored a lot of goals, but I agree with Moyes in that I think it's too premature to. It's difficult. It's difficult.
The problem is with Mickey, he does start blowing after 60, 70 minutes, doesn't he? And
he's still very effective when he does that, mate, isn't he? He's still he holds the ball up well. He occupies very good positions, has chances. I just think Odebeku, from what I saw against United, granted it was only a few minutes, but I just don't think he's there yet. He's not ready. He could even be a late bloomer. They develop at certain times. But
I don't agree with throwing Mippo on. Yeah, but just because he's so young. It's just because he's so young. But I think maybe it's tough, because you are right. He still was up there. Like Mickey was still nearly got on the end of something, and he was still an attacking threat. So it's difficult to say maybe we should have taken him off. But I don't think it probably has less to do with Mikel Antonio. Probably more to do with West Ham's defensive setup towards the end, if I'm honest. Like, if in an attacking sense we're going for it, and Mickey can't get onto the end of things, or he can't get forward, then take him off. Do you know what I mean? He's blowing, he's knackered. He does get knackered after 60, 70 minutes, and unfortunately we are in that situation where we don't have another striker, really, a senior striker to bring on that can do the same job.
Just come on and make runs in behind when we're on the counter. I noticed Lingard made a few runs. Antonio was obviously blowing, so he wasn't making as many effective runs in behind. Obviously, against Luiz and Pablo Mari, you're going to get an opportunity. So I do get the point that our squad depth today did get the better of us in terms of we could have had a few options to bring on there that would have killed the game off. We had someone like Patson Daka, mate, who could have run in behind that game, run the ragged, kept the ball a bit, run the channels. I think the game could have been different, but I get both sides. Antonio does blow, and he's not he will struggle from next season for me to complete 90 minutes every week, which is why we need another striker to compete with him. But then again, he gets into good positions and he's very effective at what he does, even if he doesn't sprint. So yeah.
No, I agree. It is frustrating, but if we defend better, we see it out. Do you know what I mean? We did create chances today, that's a fact. Do you know what I mean? We were relatively clinical, other than the Mickey chance. We got a lot on goal. And even then, like, Benrahma picked up in a high position, won the ball, running behind, put it on a plate. So we're still creating. But if we just shore it up a little bit and we're a bit more composed, we get away with one, basically, don't we? Let's be honest, it's 3-2. We just go, look, 3 points, we'll move on. I think going forward, it's just about not allowing this result and the way that it's happened to affect us too much, because there are positives to take, albeit for a very short period of time. And we've got a really important run of fixtures that if West Ham are serious about finishing in Europe, then obviously we've got to go and still be positive. We can beat Wolves. We can possibly get a result against Leicester. But it's just about being up for it, mate, for me. And yeah, like, try and sweep this one under the carpet. Should we talk about John Moss, mate? Because he's like, I've got to be honest. When I'm on a watch along, it's difficult for me to sort of stop and deal with it. I thought that there was a foul on Bowen from Tierney that didn't get picked up. I thought that was a bit odd. I thought he let a lot of things. I think it was
second half. Yeah,
he let a lot of things go for Arsenal, in my opinion, and it was disappointing to see. I don't think he's the main reason why we lost the game.
No, he's not. No.
I think it's frustrating when a ref does that, but it has happened in the league before, innit, this season. So
yeah, no, there was. The standard of refereeing this season has been below par. It's been very poor. Needs addressing clearly. Obviously the Souček sending off, and today as well, Moss blew up when we were through on goal nearly.
Oh God.
And that is so frustrating, because there's an advantage in a law book is given if it's deemed acceptable that there's room to carry on, and that the phase of play is an advantage to the team that's been fouled, and that was. So why did he blow up? And Antonio was hauled down by Luiz. That wasn't a foul, but then again it led to them nearly scoring. The foul on Bowen in the first half was a dive. Bowen, I thought, dived a few times, to be fair.
I agree with that. I thought it was I nearly shouted pen, but it weren't.
It wasn't a pen, was it?
Took it well though. The run was good and the touch was decent.
Just didn't need to go down, did he? Really, he could have had a shot, to be fair, as well. Could have had a go, because he's got the ability. But it's more that, listen, it doesn't. John Moss's poor performance doesn't define the result today. Not at all. I thought he was very poor, below par, and that a few of them referees, I can pick a handful of them that need replacing, or that rules need to be changed in some way. But I don't condone the abuse that was given him today that I saw on West Ham Twitter was appalling. Obviously, I sent some of it to you. We're not going to name anything, are we? But I don't condone that. But it's up to them, obviously. But he was poor, mate. He was poor.
Yeah, no, it was. It doesn't help. The Souček, I don't even know what it was. Like in the law book, technically, there's just given advantage to West Ham, and if Lingard plays that to Benrahma, he's got a chance on goal. And I'm not saying if we get that goal, we win. So I think there's something to be said for poor performances, but West Ham, there's no doubt from open play, we just take it back to football, have to deal with situations better than that. And if we are going to get into Europe, and we are going to compete going forward top half or being in and around there, we've got to get that into our game a little bit. And
Exactly.
We showed that we had the quality to play like that, composed, through the lines, keep it. We've got to do it when it matters, though. Do you know what I mean?
We shouldn't be relying on fouls, mate, from... sorry, I was looking at that comment. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be relying on fouls from the referee, though, mate. In certain, we need to see it out ourselves. I thought we were too reliant on fouls, and fair enough, they were poor decisions. But it's more the fact that we should take it into our own hands. Be accountable for our own mistakes and performance in the second half, because it gave Arsenal a point. It's not the referee. The referee was bad, but he wasn't accountable for our performance after half an hour.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. I completely agree. It's I think it's more frustrating. You're looking for someone to blame that's not you, and it is easier to do that. And listen, there's no doubt about it. It was capitulation. I can't quite believe we've done it in the manner that we've done it, particularly with the way that we've played.
We've done a Spursy, haven't we?
We've done a Spursy, and I've got to go on a show on Wednesday and talk to a Tottenham fan. I went on an Arsenal channel.
You'll need backup. Speed dial me, yeah.
I need backup. Yeah, I've asked the Arsenal fan to give me a bit of backup because now he said, "What does it feel like to drop it?" I said, "I feel like Tottenham." So I know what it's like, but listen, we move on. It sounds awful saying this because I can't quite even get my head around it. We've got a point. I think we got away with a point because Arsenal could have had. They could have won that game towards the end if we weren't careful.
They're still a good team. They're still a very good team, despite how inconsistent they are. That was them in a nutshell today, their season. But sorry, that comment. It's still what you said hit the nail on the head. We can't let today's, the 65 minutes of that game and our performance affect us going forward after the international break. It's important if we want to, maintain that push for Europe and make it at the end of the season that these results, we overcome them, we bounce back like we have done before this season. Moyes has got it spot on. That we do that and don't get too complacent, when we're in a winning position and look, learn from this as a positive learning curve that we can't afford to shut up shop and defend once we have a lead for the rest of the second half because we're simply not good enough. We have to find ways to acclimatise to the situation, bring on a fresh pair of legs maybe for Antonio or push Antonio out wide and deal with it that way. But like you said, if we want to push for Europe, move on from today's game, as frustrating as it is, we still got a point against Arsenal, which 5 years ago you'd have snapped your hand off for. So
our times have changed, mate.
Exactly. But on a positive note as well, you got to look at the positives, mate. That first half an hour was the best we played this season. The way we moved the ball, we were effective in the final third. Real quality.
Just to finish it on a positive note, because it is hard. And I feel like we finally managed to get there. Because at the beginning, I was like, no, it's awful. But the reality is that we've improved under Moyes this season, and we have criticised Moyes when he come in terms of the things that he's done and in terms of what the players have done. We've seen an improvement in the players. We've seen an improvement in the way that we play the systems, everything. So we are moving on the right trajectory. As long as the players learn from this and we deal with it better next time. And if you are don't play halfway between being defensive and pressing, just one or the other. Or like you say, if you're not good enough to play between the two, don't. And keep the ball better. If we do that, we're on the right path. Do you know what I mean? But I trust Moyes. I trust the international break as well. To get in there, deal with it, come back refreshed, and we go again against Wolves. And West Ham, Wolves will give us a lot of the ball. And if we play like we did in that half hour against Wolves, we'll get the result and we'll go home and we'll be fine. But
exactly. Wolves will do that. Wolves will probably, you do your tactical analysis on the game, but they'll probably set up a lot similar to the way Arsenal did today, overlapping fullbacks, overloading central areas. Wolves have some good-ish players. Martinho, Neves is a good player. Jimenez,
Neto,
obviously, but Neto as well, but I think it's a very winnable game. I don't think they're the team they were last season at all, for various reasons. But it's a game that we should bounce back in, and hopefully we do.
Yeah, I'm positive. I got this. I'll just start crying. Oh, no, I can't do it anymore. We're going to bottle it. But no, we'll be there. We'll be all right. Don't worry, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Drop a like on the stream before you leave. Cheers, Dan, as ever, my friend.
No worries, mate.
I'm sure we'll get you back on for... You might do an England thing this week, because I think England...
Yeah, let's do it,
England are playing this week, I think.
England are playing... Who are England playing? Hold on one second.
You've come too late, Willie Jumper. You're going to have to watch it back.
They're playing Albania away on Sunday.
Sunday, right? Yeah. So we'll do something Thursday. We'll talk about what England lineup we'd like to see and chew the fat on that and get away from West Ham, and then we'll be back obviously with preview stuff the following week. So hopefully Declan has a man of match performance against Albania. He scored a worldie, and we're buzzing. But that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm done. Thanks everyone for joining us, and until next time, as ever, take care.